Hello, everyone. Welcome to my potentially very scary scene right now. This is just how I live my life. What time is it? 7:45 p.m. on Wednesday. Um, I mean, I never ever sit in this corner of my house, but I just thought this would be a cozy place to talk to you guys. So let me tell you what happened. I filmed a video today, a chit chat, get ready with me, and my energy was so crazy because the sun just like kept getting in my eyes, and that's enough to really set me off. And even watching it back, I was like, I hate whoever this is. This person, this version of myself is horrible. So I was like, let me just try to like not do 70 things at once, aka put on makeup and like talk. Let me just sit, have one of my orange bubblies, and chat with you guys, like a little bit of a podcast episode. But the reason that prompted this was I was looking through my notes. My computer is absolutely going to die. It's 10 years old and on its last legs. And so every day I have to go through and delete things from it because it's, oh, also, sorry, you guys want an outfit of the day? Pajamas, full pajamas, wearing my what part of algebra equation don't you understand? Now that that's under control, I have to go back and delete documents every day. It's really fun, but also like a trip down memory lane. And I found a note on my computer, which going through the notes app are always a scary situation. And it is things I learned at 30. And I want to go through it with you guys. I'm still 30. Like, I'm not even 31 yet, but I'm reading this list like who I know. I don't even remember really writing this, but I know I like came back from a dinner with my friends or something and was just like had a few too many glasses of wine and was like, I am the most wise person and I am going to write down everything I ever thought in my life. And I don't even have 30. I have 25, but I just thought it would be fun to go through my life lessons and we can make fun of me together because a lot of them are, it's just funny. Okay, so thank you for watching and let's get into it. Number one. I mean, I do agree with all of these. I wrote them obviously, but it's just like thinking back to me, just like typing them on my computer. Girl, get a life. Anyways, number one. Don't ask people if they need anything when they're sick. Just bring it to them. 100% agree. Because they will always, if you ask your friend what they need, they'll say nothing, obviously. No one wants to put them out of the way. And if your friend actually did need something, I feel like they would ask you. Like you don't even have to prompt them. Also, just like personal opinion, if I'm like sick or sad or I do feel like I want like some support in any way, I don't actually want to see that person. Like the best thing someone can do for me is drop something off at my door and then text me when they're gone. I'm not kidding. Text me when they're gone and be like, look out your door. Same with like, if you're gonna bring me like, yeah, flowers, obviously love getting flowers, will accept them anyway. But my favorite way is when I don't have to, I can open them in private. You know what I mean? That might be a crazy take, but I just like, yeah, I don't want to have to do the conversation around it. Anyways, so that's my don't ask people if they need anything when they're sick, just bring it to them. Always. Obviously, this is easier when your friends live in houses, which mine don't, because then you have to like buzz in or like climb over the barricade, but you can do it. Okay, number two is actually one of my favorite quotes, and I do live by it. Let me make sure this is working actually. Okay, sorry. Had to check the audio. I'm new at this. Number two, I saw this on Tumblr 15 years ago, and I genuinely love it. Never take advice from someone you wouldn't want to trade places with. My friends have heard me say this all the time because I really do follow this rule. I think it's pretty straightforward. Don't ask advice for people you want to trade places with. If I want relationship advice, I'm not going to go to anyone who's in like a super toxic, draining relationship. God bless them. I'll go for them to them for other things. If I want, like, moral of the story, this is why I go to my mom a lot of the time for advice. I don't know, because if you follow the advice of these people, you're going to end up where they are. If I follow the advice of someone who's in a really toxic relationship, I'm going to follow those steps and also be in a toxic relationship. So I like that one, and I will keep that one on my list. This is a really good one. I'm skipping a few that are actually too cringe to read. So this is actually number 5. Learn how to listen without trying to find a solution to their problem. Sometimes people just want to vent. I mean, yeah, this one is so hard though. I actively try to do it, but it's so hard to me. Because you just, when, like, especially if it's a friend talking to you about something that you know, it's obviously, they probably know the answer too, but they don't want to do that. They want to complain about it. And they should be able to just complain to a friend. So this is a really good one to keep in mind. I know personally when I'm going through something and I'm venting to a friend, I don't want, this is like, for instance, if I go to my dad with anything, he will give me a solution within a heartbeat. Babe, just tell me that no one has ever had a harder life than me. Because that's what I'm trying to get right now. This one is so funny. Decide if you want to spend money or don't. For instance, if you go out to eat, order whatever you want or just stay in. I actually agree with that. But how is that like a life lesson after 30 years? I do agree with that though, especially like when I go out to eat and I decide to go out to eat, like I'm going out to eat. Like I will get appetizers, I will get a bottle of wine, I will get dessert, and I will get whatever main I want. And I like, it obviously is weird if you're living like that and then your friend is getting like a side salad with a water. But personal opinion, they're obviously allowed to order whatever they want. This is just what I feel. Because there's definitely times where I'm like, I don't feel like spending money today. And I'm not going to go out to eat. I'm going to go out to eat when I feel like I have $60 to $80 to spend on some mac and cheese. Like always trust your gut. We know. Oh my God, this one, you guys, this one I feel so strongly about. Never ask a host who's going when they invite you to something they're planning. I could literally write an essay on this. I just think it's so rude if I invite someone to my house and when it's like a group of people and someone's like, who's going? Is my presence there not enough? It's one of my biggest pet peeves, and it happens more than you would think. I don't think people obviously aren't like trying to do it to be rude. They're just trying to like understand what the vibe is and like what they should bring or whatever. I get it. But I just think it's super rude. Like, don't ask who's going. If you're like bringing something to eat, you can ask how many people. Obviously, if it's like a dinner party, you can be like, how many people? So I know how much like fried broccoli to bring. Obviously a random side to bring, but to each their own. Yeah, I actually back that as a life lesson. Do not ask that. It's super rude to the host because it's like, I'll be there. Is that not enough? Like, do I need to invite like the right people for you to show up to my thing? Anyways, send Christmas. Oh my God, the way I wrote this was so like, period, exclamation point. But send Christmas cards, pay for postage, even if they live in your city. I've only done this for 1 year, but it's so fun and I will continue to do it. One of my really good friends does this and has sent me a Christmas card every year I've lived here. And it's just so nice to get mail. We agree on this. It's so nice to get mail when it's not a bill. Like it's fun to get a letter from someone. So yeah, pay for postage. Just mail it to them. It's $1. I found that out the hard way. I went last year, I went to mail my first set of Christmas cards and literally had no idea how much a stamp was. Like she could have said it was $25, like $24.99 per stamp, and I'd be like, oh my God, great deal. They're $1 each. So that's, yeah, the post office is a scary place, but you should still do it. Send Christmas cards, write Christmas cards, write like a little postcard. I don't know. Just like send mail. It's fun to send mail to your friends. This one I don't think I need to say, I don't think I need to preface that I agree with all these. I literally wrote them and no one's ever read these before. Never show up to a house where you will be fed empty-handed. This is, again, very passionate about this. Obviously, if someone invites you to their house and you're like, oh, what can I bring? And they say nothing, obviously still bring something. If you're going for like a dinner, or if you know you're going where like they will, feed you in some way or like give you drinks or something, you should bring something. I think it doesn't have to be big. It could be like a little jar of olives or something the host likes, a candle, a bottle of wine. Obviously, if they drink is always an easy one. But I just think that if you're going to someone's house, you should bring a little something for them that you can all enjoy together. Again, if it is like a dinner party and you ask the host day of, what can I bring? They got it covered. Just like get creative. Dessert if they need it. You know what I mean? This is something that you do at 30 years old. You have dinner parties and you have to bring a bottle of wine when you go to a dinner party. I think that's just like, yeah, you got to do that. Or anything. Like it's like sparkling water. If some of my friends showed up with like 2 bottles of cold Perrier in the green glass jars, that's so nice, because I would never buy that for myself. Probably like, I don't even know how much that is, $5? Probably more. But still, so nice. Okay, this one, nothing is permanent, and thank God for that. I think about this one all the time, how obviously nothing is permanent. I just said that, but like it helps me sometimes and brings me down to earth in all aspects of every emotion. If I'm really frustrated, if I'm really happy, if I'm really sad, it will never stay the same. So just enjoy that emotion. I think, at least. Easier said than done. I'm not going to tell my friend who like just went through a horrific breakup, like, but you should enjoy it. Like, this is just a fleeting moment. Although I probably do say something along the lines of that. I've realized that I'm like toxic positivity. Yeah. Should add that one to the list to work on, because that's an annoying trait. Okay, always arrive. I actually don't really follow this one, but I think that it's a classy thing to follow. Always arrive on time to a restaurant and 5 minutes late to a house. I know I wrote this, and I don't know why I'm like editing in this real time. I would argue you should arrive at least 10 minutes late to a house. I mean, this could change the things I learned at 40. Maybe we'll be more punctual. But like when I'm having a dinner party or if I'm having friends over, I never want you there when I tell you to. Like if I tell you come at 7 and you arrive at 7:05, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not ready. 10 to 15 minutes late. I should change that. 10 to 15 minutes late. Done. To a house. I think that's a good one. And I do think that you should arrive on time to a restaurant if you're like meeting someone for a reservation. Although, that was really loud, sorry. Like caveat here is if it's a date, I will always be 5 minutes late to a date. I am not dealing with the hostess, babe. Like that's not a pink job. That is a blue job for you to do. And you got this. This one is something that I actually learned. I don't know if you guys know this lore about me, but I worked for a YouTuber, well-loved one that I love, Alexandra's Girly Talk. When I lived in Toronto, love her so much, had the best time working with her, still close to this day. But her videos are like iconic. I've been watching her for years. Anyways, doesn't matter. She taught me this. Invest in clothes that you wear the most. Buy expensive sweats and PJs and affordable one-time fancy dresses. So yeah, I mean, does that like now I will buy really luxe like sweats or pajamas or things or like jeans, things that I wear all the time. And when I have a wedding to go to, I will try not to spend more than like, I mean, it's kind of hard, but try to spend just like, yeah, it's why am I spending like $250 on a dress that I'm going to wear once? I love that one because it feels great. Like right now, my pajamas are so ragged, like ratty, and there's holes everywhere. And I do love that too. But there's something so nice about a nice pair of pajamas. Or like, you ever buy yourself a nice robe? Oh, it's really a true luxury. Okay, this one's so funny. This was a new addition. Okay. Decenter men from your life. It's not all about meeting someone, keeping them happy, and being their perfect match. Actually, it's nothing about that. I wrote that a few weeks ago and I decided that I was going to stop dating. Not stop, but just like not be into it at all. And it is so life changing. Like, decenter men, you guys. It's so exhausting to think that that's all that there is. I've definitely like been there, and I have had conversations with friends who like probably feel that way, but it really doesn't matter. Even if like you're married, like I hope you still have your hobbies and like do your own thing, girl. Like just cuz, you know what I mean? You have 5 kids, no problem. You need to figure out like how to be there for yourself too. Does that make sense? Again, this could change at 35. This is just me as a 30-year-old giving my opinion. Okay, this one is one that my therapist taught me, and I use it all the time. This was like many therapists ago. I mean, I've had 2, but when I lived in Toronto, and I absolutely loved her so much, and she helped me a lot. But this is what I wrote. The world needs yin and yang. If you're going to worry about getting fired, you also have to believe in that same sureness that you will also get a promotion. Shouldn't have said also. I didn't have it written. Let me say this one again. The world needs yin and yang. If you're going to worry about getting fired, you also have to believe in that same sureness that you will get a promotion. And this was because I just had such negative thinking. I would always worst case scenario, like horrific things. And she really helped me with this fact, because it's true. Like nothing's always going to be bad. Some things need to be good too. And so if you're going to think that like you're going to get in a car accident and lose everything, or like have a house fire, you also have to believe like, oh my God, I'm going to wake up and win the lottery today. I mean, that's the extreme, obviously, but it's helped me with my thinking of like, when I find myself thinking really negatively, I force myself to think, what is the positive counterpart of this and how can I believe it? Because that's life. It's never going to be one or the other. It's never going to be good luck all the time, and it's never going to be bad luck all the time. I'll keep that one in here. Okay, number 22. I'm skipping a few that are like bad. Maybe we'll go back to them later. Number 22. I love this one. I mean, obviously I wrote it, but you know, keep your home clean and tidy. It reduces stress and helps your mood. Nighttime power cleans are the current joy of my life. I had to actually pause while I read that, because it's like I'm writing this to myself, for myself, about myself. But truly, I can feel when I feel stressed out, it's almost always because my house is messy. Before I go to bed, every single night, I clean my house. I will never wake up. I mean, I shouldn't say never, but like 9 times out of 10, won't wake up with dirty dishes. I will clean at 2:00 in the morning, rubber gloves on, and then go to bed and wake up in a clean house. There's nothing like waking up in a clean house and opening the blinds and having a cup of coffee and like going on your phone. Just kidding. I mean, not kidding, but like I wish I could say read the paper, but I don't do that. Play my New York Times game app. It's so nice. And I don't know when this started. I definitely was super messy, like even 5 years ago. I mean, I'm still messy. Like, I live alone. No one's watching me. I will eat a bag of chips and like drop it on the floor like an animal. But then it just feels good to do stuff like that. I'm not going to lie to you. But then like, you got to pick it up too. And I will. I'm neat, but I don't really like deep clean a lot. Like, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Don't really wash my walls, but like, I clean. And if you ever have guests over, you guys, you need to clean your bathrooms. I don't know if that's on here, but that should be. You need to lift your toilet seat up and clean your sink and light a candle or do something. Got to make it a little bit enjoyable. Okay, number 23. These are all like newer additions. I feel like I did this like 6 months ago. So these are all that I'm like, yeah, this is a good one. Boundaries. You guys, set boundaries to protect your space, time, and sanity. Doesn't matter how close the relationship. Oh my God, you guys. Friends, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, pet. Maybe not pet because they can't understand. Idiots. Boundaries are so important to me, and I think to everyone, and they should be. My boundaries are around my alone time. Like, I know when even if I don't have plans and a friend asks me to hang out, can't do it. Like, this is my solo time. This is when I go mute and like stare at a wall for 8 hours. Can't cancel on that again. I think it's super important. Or like if you have a friend that you feel like, I don't know. I think that you know in yourself what boundaries you need. With family, like if you feel like your family's toxic or only brings out the worst in you, like maybe you don't see them as much, or you keep like your phone calls to be shorter. Being a people pleaser is never a good thing, you guys. I am not a people pleaser. I could not give two F's if people don't like me, genuinely, because I feel like confident and happy in the person that I am. So if they don't like me, if it's like no problem, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. I'm going to continue to live my life. That was a little bitchy, but genuinely feel that way. And so where was I going with that? Boundaries. I wish I had a producer to tell me what I was talking about. But people pleaser, because yeah, like I'm imagining like having to go see family that like you really don't get along with, or that or like any kind of like emotionally abusive or whatever. You don't have to do it. I don't think. I'm not speaking from experience, but I can only imagine how horrible that would be. And you're allowed to just like say no and do your own thing. So I don't know, maybe just think of what kind of boundaries you would need and implement them. Also, like respecting other people's boundaries is really important. And understanding that like it's not personal. They just need to do this for themselves. Okay, number 25. This was another one that my therapist told me that I love. And I tell my friends all the time. And some of them are like, okay. Unless you're the CEO of the company, do not work overtime. You're replaceable. Oh, wait, what did I say? I wrote, you're replaceable to them. Also, don't feel bad about quitting. Everybody quits. Literally everyone. My dad told me that, and it made me feel a lot better, because quitting is always awkward. Like, you feel so responsible for this multi-million-dollar company's like life, and they could not care about yours at all. You got to quit. So that's fine. But the beginning, unless you're the CEO of the company, don't work overtime. As someone who is not career driven at all, I mean, I am to a point. Like I feel like I do have an entrepreneurial spirit. Like I will always find a way to make money and be able to like make sure my bills are paid. You will not find me working overtime, you guys. Like, no. Just not really in the cards for me. Of course, I have so many amazing, brilliant, determined friends who take very much pride and care in their job and are like honored to work overtime. I get it a bit, but like, for how long you got to do that for? It just feels like the rat race ain't for me, babe. One of the biggest nightmares of my life is if I was a CEO. That feels horrible. What? I mean, I think that there's like a sweet spot in leadership where if you're a good manager, you can just delegate without having like as much responsibility as certain people. But to be like in charge of everything, like you can't just go to the beach one day. I don't know. I mean, thank God there's people out there that want to do that, because I won't be doing it. But we need CEOs, of course. We need great leaders. I probably won't be one of them, but that's okay. Okay, the last one, the last of the least cringe ones, because all of those were a little bit cringe, but like, yeah, the second last one should be, you gotta be a little cringe sometimes. The last one is, when hosting a dinner party, make sure to have one bottle per person. I wholeheartedly agree with this. even though people will bring bottles of wine, you should always have enough alcohol and wine. I mean, unless like your friends and group don't drink, that's obviously then this doesn't matter to you. But as someone that like when we have dinner parties, me and my friends will like have wine or like make cocktails or whatever. You never want to run out of alcohol. You should always be prepared. I always have wine on me just in case. It's also like, you know, as I said, when I'm going to dinner, I'll just grab one. But you'd be surprised. Like I went for dinner at my friend's house last weekend and there were 6 of us and we drank 7 bottles of wine. I think we each brought one. Like it was crazy. I mean, we were there probably 6 hours, not kidding. But like you never want to be the reason the party's stopping. And not to say that there's only a party because there's alcohol there, but like, you know what I mean? You want to always have a little something to drink. So those are my 26, what I learned at 30. I wonder what 4 I'll add. The ones that are cringe are like, let me see. Okay, like this one. This isn't cringe, but this isn't a life lesson. This is just like a thought. This one says, the relationships you have with your female friends are a special kind of fulfilling love that should be cherished, nurtured, and accepted. 100%, you guys. My friends, my female friends, my girlfriends. I remember when I was little, my mom would say like, oh, Maxie's hanging out with her girlfriends. I'd be like, Mom, like what? That's so weird. Don't call them my girlfriends. And then now I'm on the phone with my mom like, yeah, I'm going to hang out with my girlfriends and then whatever. My female friendships have shaped me and helped me grow in ways that I don't think any other living human could ever do. It is just like so special. And I'm not saying men can't have this connection. Of course they can. If it's just harder, I think, to find a group of men that are like open. Like for instance, this 6-hour dinner party that I was at, the host's boyfriend came home with his friends like 5 hours in, and they like walked in and we were like, hey, we're talking about our values. Do you guys want to join? Like who sits there for 5 hours and just literally is like, these are my values and this is what's important to me. And this is how I feel about family trauma. Like I just think it's such a safe, special, amazing connection that you can have. It doesn't have to be gendered, but maybe just if you can find people that you can have connections like that with. I just personally have found it with my female friends and I love them so much and they're amazing. And I do feel bad for men actually. And let's talk about it. There's so many times, like anytime I go away on a trip with my friends and they're like, we're in the car, my friend's like, oh, I packed everyone snacks and this is like, I made this reservation and this is, I brought this extra top in case this one doesn't fit you. And just like, oh, unbelievable people. And all women are. I really think that. And maybe men are fine with like going to an Airbnb and like ordering Wingstop. But I like they deserve to be like, I don't know. There's so many, every time I'm with my friends, I'm like, I love being a woman. Like, this is so nice. Like, so thoughtful. Anyways, what other one? Okay, this one. This was number 7. I wrote, it's actually number 7 and number 8 is right after it. Obviously, 7, 8, 9. I wrote, you are allowed to outgrow friendships. Just don't be cruel. And number 8 is, if you are cruel, call and apologize. I think we've all had fights with friends where you like kind of regret what you've said. I definitely have, like, especially like when I was younger. I don't really fight with my friends okay, my camera stopped. I think I can film for 30 minutes. Doesn't matter. What I was saying is, I think that we've all had fights with friends. I don't fight with my friends. I've like really done self-work to understand my conflict response, which I've learned was I shut down in conflict. And like, I'm not a yeller at all. Even if someone was like attacking me and yelling at me and like pointing at me, I would just sit there in silence. And then I like, not like that's ever happened to me, but you know, I do. And I regroup and then I talk. I am an over communicator. So if there's ever a moment in my life now where I feel like something's going on with one of me and my friends, I will, or like I do this a lot actually. If I am at a hangout and I feel like I offended someone, I'll apologize in the moment, of course, but I will like call them after or like the next day or message them and apologize again. I feel like if something's like sitting on your heart and you're thinking about it, just like talk about it. Like if you think that you might have offended someone, just like call them and be like, I'm so sorry if that offended you. Like I've been thinking about it and I want you to know that I didn't mean anything by it. I do that a lot because my sense of humor, like I don't really know where my sentences are going most of the time. So yeah, God bless my friends. Thank you for putting up with me. Anyways, so the number 8, like if you are cruel, call and apologize. Just like, I don't know. Like life is way too short to like have fights with friends. These are people that are like important in your life, obviously, or they should be. And outgrowing friendships is normal and totally fine. Every single relationship will ebb and flow. Every single one. Friendships, siblings, relationships, parents. It will all ebb and flow. And that goes back to my nothing is permanent. And it's totally fine. Like think of in 5 years, if you have kids and your friends don't, like that's just a different relationship. Doesn't mean you guys love each other any less. Just means it's like a different phase of life. So yeah, outgrowing relationships is fine. It sucks. Friendship bracelets. Friendship bracelet, bro. Oh my gosh. Friendship breakups suck. Terribly. But sometimes they need to happen. Doesn't mean that you can never rekindle it. But yeah. Okay, that one. Call and apologize. I'm an over communicator. So I will always. Okay, this one is like, whatever. I wrote, I actually can't read that one. This one is, wear sunscreen every day on your face and hands every day. I mean, I do really want to drive that one home. You definitely should wear sunscreen. I keep a sunscreen stick in my car for my hands. I almost bought driving gloves. Like that's how serious I feel. I've said this all the time, but like Kim Kardashian has really ugly hands. They not ugly, but like they're 45-year-old hands. And they're actually probably gorgeous 45-year-old hands. But they like you can tell a woman's age or anyone's age by their hands. And if she can't figure out how to make them look younger or nicer or better, we are screwed because she's gone to like the depths of the earth to find some kind of insane injection or surgery to fix that, and she hasn't found it. So I do the hands and the face and the neck and the ears. I forget the ears sometimes, but you should do the ears. And so that's my cringy one. I don't know if I have any more cringe ones. Oh, like you're never too old to try something new. Okay, like I wish I said Rascal Flats. That doesn't make sense, but no shit. I think I wrote that when I was planning to do my wine class. Although, let me expand on that because I just am in the chit chat mood. When I was in university, also like how crazy to think of when I was 18. So scary, but I remember there would always be older people in the class that usually sit in the front of the class because they're taking it super seriously. And I always thought, I remember specifically there was one class, it was like an elective I was taking that I hated, obviously, never been into school. And this woman would come in with her toddler, or I don't even know how old the kid was, but it was definitely like young enough to sleep in her arms. And she would take note, like she would go to the class, take notes, raise her hand, do her thing, and would go home. And I was always like so impressed with her. And I'm like, good for fucking you. I'm sitting here so entitled and like, ugh, I think it was like politics or sociology or something like boring to me. And it takes a lot at that age to like, with a kid, to go and sit in a class and do it. And I just remember being like, good for you. That is so awesome. Or like if you've ever had like, in their 50s, people going to school, it's just like so cool. I've actually was looking up classes at community colleges here, but the only ones I found was like auto shop. I'm like, okay, I need to learn that. The guys at Mr. Lube, what would they do without rinsing me every time? Like literally, I think there's bells on my car. Those whistles that only dogs can hear. Like I have one of those on my car that only works for auto shops. They their tails are wagging when I come rolling. Oh my God. They're like, what? Like, let's go. Honestly, it is crazy the things that they tell me to do. Like, words I've never even heard before. And, oh, that's going to be $800. Let me just call my father. I don't think my father would be happy to know that you're trying to get me to change my transmission fluid right now. Okay. What is that? Paul? Yeah. Oh, I just scrolled down and I saw this one that's not numbered, but I kind of already said it. It says, what other people think about you has nothing to do with you and is frankly none of your business. 100% agree. I mean, obviously I wrote it, but it's so true. If you are like centered enough to understand who you are as a person, then you go out in the world and someone is like, I don't like her. Okay, no problem. I like who I am, so I don't really care what you think. That's a hard one to learn, but it's so powerful, you guys, when you learn to not give a F. And I'm so young. I'm only 30. About to turn 31 in a few months, but I can only imagine how much that grows as you get older. Just like none of this matters. Anyways, guys, that was my what I learned at 30. Let me know if you have any thoughts about those. I also can't see my screen because with my big age, I wear glasses now and they're over there. So I don't know what this looks like. The frame could be absolutely horrible and I could hate it and not even want to post this video, but I probably will still. I probably still will. Okay, I'm not done talking. How do you guys feel? I have not done talking and I have notes on my phone that I want to talk about. Nothing exciting. Went shopping today, bought 2 pairs of winter boots and a winter coat. And not telling you how much money it is because it's crazy. But one of the pairs, obviously, of winter boots is going back. Anyways, that's the end of that topic. But here's what I wrote. I just wrote what I've been up to. I've been watching Gilmore Girls, you guys. I'm obsessed with the show. It is the perfect show. I don't know where it was when I was a kid. Like, it came out in 2000, so I'm sure my parents weren't like letting I must have said 9. How old was I? Oh, don't make me do this right now. 7. Anyways, I love Lorelai and Rory, like obsessed with them. Also love the name Rory. I really wanted my sister before even watching the show. When she had her baby, I'm like, your baby looks like a Rory. And my sister was like, absolutely not. But it's just such a good show. I'm on season 3 and I put it in the background when I do my little things and it's just so comforting and nice. And it's just always fall there. It's like, I feel like summer isn't like spring and summer is like 1 episode and then the rest of like the 40 episodes are fall and winter. It's the best. So loving that. I really like Jess for Rory. Now we're just talking about Gilmore Girls, but if you guys don't watch, Jess is like the bad boy compared to her ex-boyfriend Dean, who was like I don't even know how to describe him. The like safer option. But this last episode just pissed me off. So I don't know how I feel anymore. So that's that. I watched Challengers last week. It was fine. Like, let me know if you guys watched it and thought about it. Obviously, this always happens when there's too much overhype about a movie and then you watch it and you're like, okay. Love Zendaya. Love her. I thought the acting was really good from both the men as well. I don't know their names. I don't know if this was like their breakout role. I'm assuming because I've never seen them before. But that could also be a super ignorant thing to say if they're like, major actors. I liked the direction of it and the production of it, but I don't know. Didn't hit for me. Also, why is it 3 hours? Why is it 3 hours? After an hour and a half, I was like, this must be ending soon. Halfway through. No need for it to be that long. Yeah. So, watch the Challengers. That's like my exciting announcement. And I'm reading The Shining right now. It's a book I'm reading for book club, but I'm Also reading it because I want to. Because you guys know I actually don't read the book club books. Pardon me. And I've never seen The Shining, and I've never read a Stephen King novel. So I'm excited. I'm on page 80, but it's like I have like the little book. So it's actually probably like page 30. I have like 700 pages to go, and I have 2 weeks to read it. So wish me luck. And the only other thing I'm reading is my wine class textbook, which I'm not reading because if you guys remember my story about school, not a great student. But I feel like what I want to do is like go study somewhere and like actually take better notes and like get a highlighter and like color code things, and you know what I mean? So that's my reading media. I'm doing media like what Emergency Intercom does. Okay, and this is the only other thing I have on this note. What is with men posting half naked and full naked photos of themselves on dating apps? And I'll end on this, you guys. It is an epidemic out there. Oh my God. The amount of men's asses I've seen on my phone that have not been sent to me, that have been forced upon me on a dating app. It is so crazy. Like, I actually want a study to be done. The amount of mirror selfies of shirtless men and like full like nature scenes where they're completely naked but like back to the camera. Is it like they're trying to do it so that girls do it? Like, what is going on? Also, me and my friends are always like, oh my God, let me see your profile. Imagine a group of guys being like, yo, let me see your profile, and they're all just naked. What are you guys doing? It's crazy. And like, this isn't Tinder. This is like the highbrow ones, like Hinge. It's really, really wild. I don't know why they do it. Maybe some girls are into that. Actually, maybe they are. Maybe they are. I'm definitely not. I learned that the hard way. Yeah. It's a very interesting world we live in, people. Very, very scary. Okay, I think I'm going to end. This has probably been like 40 minutes, but I hope you guys listened to this like a podcast and you enjoyed it. I love this format. If you guys want me to keep doing it, it's super easy and fun for me to do. And I just need stuff to ramble about, which we can always find. I mean, I could have talked about Jess from Gilmore Girls for another 40 minutes, but I'm not going to bore you all. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.